I've been working in batteries for about 15, 16 years now, and I've seen the industry really grow over that time quite significantly. When I started, the automotive battery industry was in its infancy. It was a bit of a cottage industry. There were a few small companies out there doing interesting things, but it wasn't well put together. It wasn't doing anything at scale, and didn't really have the automotive mindset and the real volume and cost down approach that it needed. More recently, certainly over the last 5 years or so, the industry's had a huge change as EVs have become more popular. And as a result, the battery industry has got its act together and really started to focus and make sure that the products that are being developed, whether that be at the cell or at the battery level, are coming through in the right way to meet the requirements of the new electric vehicle industry. And that's a really positive change, as I say, that's happened recently, and is in stark contrast to what happened 10, 15 years ago in the battery industry. I think it's really difficult to try and forecast what's going to happen in the motorsport industry. One of the great things about the motorsport industry is how it can be used to develop the next generation of technology, and as such, that's inherently unpredictable. I do think we're going to start transitioning more and more towards EVs to some extent, but I think it's a little way off. In the short term, they'll start looking at things like e-fuels, and ways to take carbon emissions out of the series. But ultimately, the future of electric vehicles, sorry, the future of automotive is in electric vehicles, and therefore Formula One in some way is going to need to address that. They're doing it reasonably well with hybrids at the moment. The technology isn't there to make Formula One electric, but I think over the next 30 years, it's going to be an inevitable movement towards electric vehicles. We're currently in the second phase of electrification. The first phase was the innovators, the people like Tesla and Fisker, who were out there developing electric vehicles in the early days. We're at the point now where most OEMs are racing to bring electric vehicles to the market. And then the third phase is all going to be around efficiency. And that's how we're going to increase the amount of electric vehicles in the market, and how the technology is going to push and become and help electric vehicles become less expensive, particularly on the battery side. So we're going to see a lot of push towards more efficient drivetrains and more efficient batteries. If you have more efficient drivetrains and more efficient batteries, you will need less battery packs. You can have smaller battery packs for the same range. And through that, the electric vehicles are going to become less expensive and more accessible. What we're also going to see is an increase in fast charge technology. And again, this is going to mean that the effective cost of the vehicle, the effective cost of the battery is going to come down, because you quite simply won't need that long a range for most journeys and most vehicles. So as soon as we have high efficient batteries and fast charge capable batteries, we're going to start to see the costs of the battery technology in electric vehicles coming down. I've been lucky in my career. I've got a lot of achievements I'm proud of, but at the moment, I think my focus is on McLaren Applied's IPG5 800-volt silicon carbide inverter. It's a highly efficient inverter for use in electric vehicles, but that efficiency helps you to bring the reliance on battery technology and bring the cost of battery technology down by driving more efficient drivetrains, and helping electric vehicles become more affordable to the mass market. The electric vehicles of tomorrow are going to focus on two things. Firstly, efficiency. We're seeing a huge focus on efficiency starting to come through the process, and that's really going to help electric vehicles get mass market appeal. When we see more electric vehicles entering the mass market, the other thing we think we're going to start seeing is a focus on drivability. Electric vehicles are great at the moment. You can put your foot down and you can out accelerate most of the vehicles on the road, but they're a little bit one dimensional. So along with efficiency, we think we're going to see drivability and the character of cars start to be bought into mainstream electric vehicles. At the show, I'm looking forward to having conversations with other people in the industry about what the future of electric vehicles and battery technology will be.